Hi everyone, thanks for being with me, and I just want to thank all those people that have subscribed to my channel in the last few days, because I'm now up to 5,000 subscribers, which is fantastic, which is a goal I wanted to meet by the end of this month. However, I've now met that goal a little bit earlier, so I'm now focusing on 10,000, doubling my subscriptions by, let's make it by August, the end of August. So in the meantime, what will help me will be if you subscribe, which is simply about ringing the bell for further notifications, subscribing to my channel, and particularly making comments down below so I can have a look at some of the things that you find interesting in relation to some of the things that I might say. So I really do appreciate that. Now, in the meantime, what I wanted to talk about today is a bloke by the name of Jack Horton. Now I didn't know who Jack was until he started to pop up on Sky, and then he posted this thing. So he runs this show called The Media Show, which I don't know when it's on, don't really care. He's rather an inconsequential individual, but nevertheless, he is on Sky, so he's worth talking about because he's endeavouring to get his message across to as many people as he can, and Sky News do that in a most belligerent and unfortunate way. But nevertheless, here he is. So Jack's talking about the media and how they've impacted the riots, as he calls them, in Los Angeles. Now, there are some factual things he gets wrong, but nevertheless, he tries. He's very trying. So I just wanted to play a little bit of this clip where he brings up Jen Psaki, who personally I have a lot of time for. I think Jen's great, and I think her coverage of the media and news in particular is excellent. However, she can be disliked because she was press secretary for Joe Biden, which, if you're sitting on a certain side of politics, is a definite negative. And Jack points that out with a great deal of delight in this particular video. So here's Jack talking about the media, and it's called Stars and Gripes, LA riot activism. And the LA riots, according to Jack, are perpetrated by left-wing media, and particularly Jen Psaki, apparently. So let's see what he has to say.
And this is the show where we pick apart the agenda-driven media in the US and call out activism masquerading.
And I need to say that the ABC has a show called Media Watch, for some of you that may not know, worth watching. It's only 10-15 minutes. But in Media Watch, they have always taken apart the ABC. If the ABC says or does something that they believe contravenes the journalistic ethics or reporting in general, Media Watch will rip them apart. Yet, I can guarantee you that this show, I think, is supposed to be a bit of an emulation of Media Watch. But I can guarantee you, and I haven't got all that much information at this point because I've just started watching it, but I can guarantee you there's very little that they talk about in relation to their own broadcasting and their own misinformation processes and disinformation that they offer.
As journalism. Now, after watching the coverage of these violent riots all across America, I've come to one conclusion. You do not hate these activist journalists enough. They have emboldened rioters, provided a moral framework.
Hold on, you do not, what did you say? You do not hate these activist journalists enough. So Jen Psaki apparently is one of them.
For them to burn down their own city. And it isn't the fault of marauding criminals. It is Donald Trump's fault for daring to deport illegal immigrants and make the mob angry.
Right now, there are more troops deployed to Los Angeles than there are deployed in Syria and Iraq combined. Let me just repeat that, because I've just been thinking about this all day since one of our amazing producers shared this with me. There are more troops deployed to Los Angeles than there are deployed in Syria and Iraq combined.
can we just accept for a moment that that might be fact? Now, if it is fact, what does that mean about Jen's reporting? I don't know, but clearly Jack has a different perspective.
And right now, Donald Trump is also doing everything he can to make Los Angeles look and feel like a war zone. That's on purpose. That's what he's trying to do.
Well, that's MSNBC's Jen Psaki. She's Joe Biden's former press secretary who has stopped spinning Democratic talking points for a living to spin Democratic talking points for a living.
And this dude, my mate Jack, it wouldn't be, I find this so hypocritical, so it wouldn't be that Jack is sitting here expressing right-wing Republican viewpoints either. I think, at least I'm prepared to sit back and say, well, look, okay, I do have a left-wing leaning. I'm really obvious about that. But, but Jack, you do too. You have a right-wing leaning. Why don't you identify that? It's sort of like this representations from Sky News, I think, is just dishonest.
Trump has deployed 4,000 federalized National Guard troops and 700 active duty Marines to Los Angeles. And the reality on the ground is that the protests that Trump sent these thousands of members of the military to deal with are both largely peaceful and primarily isolated within an incredibly small section of the city. You see that tiny speck on the map? That is the area we're talking about. Again,
I just want to highlight that what Jen's talking about is factual. So the question needs to be asked is, if these facts are being presented, what spin can someone from the right present in order to counter them? Well, to our excitement, Jack has the answer.
All of that footage that you have seen of cars burning down, bricks through windows, stores looted, and scorched chaos left in the wake of rioters, well, it doesn't exist, according to Psaki. Do not believe your lying eyes.
She did not say it doesn't. See, this is the distortion bit. She didn't say it. No one says it doesn't exist. What she's saying is that it isn't as dominant and as present as what a lot of the media would have you believe. Because, we see the same clips over and over again as if it's happening everywhere. And it's a very small part of Los Angeles as well, whereas we tend to believe that it was happening all over Los Angeles.
Those cars are just peacefully burning. And I'm not sure the point she's trying to make about the curfew zone being small and therefore the riots are not happening. The two facts are completely unrelated. A geographic area can be small and still violent. But all of that aside,
she's trying. This is why I get so frustrated with these dudes, is no one's disputing that there aren't events that are happening, the burning of cars, the throwing of rocks, all that sort of stuff. It happens, right? But the fact that it happens on the scale that they want us to believe is disingenuous, it's not factual, and it's plain shitty journalism, quite frankly. But people like Jack, who is their digital manager, I hasten to add, and who doesn't have much of a profile anyway, he's busily trying to tell us and spin us this other side of the story. And this frustrates the data, because why can't you just be honest? Why can't you just say, yes, there are people that are acting inappropriately, no doubt about that, but the truth is that what Jen Psaki had presented is factual. It is the reality. Just accept it. Stop trying to offer this other spin. And this is what Sky News and the right tend to want to do all the time. Now, I'm not suggesting for a moment either that the left have it. That the left have arguments that are correct all the time either, because they don't. But let's call it out for what it is, and let's be honest about what's happening in the United States. It's a basket case. It's as simple as that. And in Australia, we can look back at this and we can chuckle, because it's not happening here. Hopefully will never happen here. And that tomorrow there will be these no king rallies, which I think will be fascinating. There's thousands of them being organised in the United States, and they will all be about opposing Donald Trump. It will be huge, as Donald Trump has his Kim Jong-un rally, where he's probably saluting all the troops as they march past him in Washington, and the rest of the world will be laughing at you. And why not? You deserve it. Let me know what you think. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate that. Ring the bell for further notifications. Make some comments below. Share my videos. Do what you need to do. Really appreciate it. In the meantime, take care. Look after yourselves.